be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.
What's up? What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Pull up a seat. Hope you enjoy the content. And before we get into this video, I want to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Go ahead and tap that bell while you're at it so you're notified anytime I drop a brand new video, go live, or schedule a premiere. All right, y'all. So today is day number 5 for Vlogtober, and I feel like it was only right for me to throw in the story time. You know, a few of y'all have been asking me about it, and I don't want to just stray away from it completely. And I also remember the story I haven't told y'all. It's a true story. It's about one of my coworkers and how they got caught up. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to share that with you guys. So it came up the other day. Laura had mentioned something, and it made me think about him. I haven't thought about him in years. So I figured, why not share that with the GP fam? So got on my sweater, my fall sweater. I would wear this sweater if I was going to a cabin. Definitely taking this sweater with me when I go to the East Coast. I feel like it's gonna come in handy. So yeah, I got the sweater and I got some shorts on underneath though. I ain't got no pants on, y'all. I mean, I have bottoms on, but it's basically a Zoom outfit. I had an interview earlier with this on too, with my shorts. So let me show y'all my setup real quick, and then I'll go ahead and jump into the story time. All right. So this is my setup. I'm in the office, so I just slide the office chair over here. I'm up against like this credenza area. I'll use this. I'll put my phone in here to record. And while we're here, let me just show you these family pictures. Me and my family, we've done pretty good over the years taking family pictures. My mom's side of the family. There go my grandma, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see her or not, but that's my grandma. We did a funny face. So this is one of our family photos. We've taken pictures in red, black, purple. And I love this picture of mom and dad. Love, love, love. I think they were, I don't know, out at an event. You know how people want to take pictures while you out and about. You know, then they want to charge you for the photo. I'm glad that they got this picture. They look so cute, don't they? Cute. All right, y'all. So anyways, what I try to do when I'm doing my stories, if I am sitting down, I try to use the natural light. So I'm going to go ahead and record this real quick because it will be getting dark soon. All right, so let's jump into the story time. Y'all, so this story is a true story, and it's based on a job I used to work at and some stuff that went down with one of my coworkers. All right, so when I was like in my early 20s, 20, 21, around this time, I was in school, but I also worked at a hardware store. And at the hardware store, I actually worked in the garden department. So I never wanted to work at the hardware store, but I felt like gardening, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I worked at a nursery previously. And, you know, I liked that the garden, you know, the garden area had a lot of traffic, but it wasn't as busy and you didn't have to know as much stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like a hardware store has a lot of moving parts and a lot of areas that you have to know about, right? So the garden area was a pretty easy transition for me, right? So there were 2 managers, and the managers were about 10 years older than me. So they both were like late 20s, early 30s, right? So it was a guy and a girl. And the guy, his name was Jeremy, and the girl, her name was Brooke. So I met Brooke first, and Brooke was really nice, very welcoming, you know, introduced me to the other coworkers and stuff like that, because our staff really wasn't that big. It was Jeremy, Brooke, me, and like maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 other people. And I rarely saw the other people. I was always either working with Brooke or working with Jeremy. So like I said, I met Brooke first, and Brooke was really nice. You know, taught me all the systems. I shadowed her. I was able to ask questions. You know, she trained me on the cashier. Trained me on the products, you know, learning about sod and about plants. And again, I knew a lot of this stuff, but she really went into detail about, you know, specific things. So she was really, really great. So eventually when I met Jeremy, he was okay. Like, he wasn't as welcoming as Brooke was. And I didn't know what his thing was. I didn't know if it was because I was another woman in the department. I didn't know if it was because I was young or what it was. And as I got to know Jeremy, it really just boiled down to the fact that he wasn't happy about where he was in his life. He was a really smart guy, and he was like pursuing a master's degree at the time. And I just feel like he came off like he just really wished that he was further along. But, you know, looking back, 30 is not, you know, you could be doing a number of things at 30, including figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of us ever have it figured out, to be honest with you. But anyway, so he was just like really hung up on that. So Brooke was single, and Jeremy was married, and he had been married for probably most of his 20s. And he would always talk about his wife, like have all these great things to say about her. She seemed like his best friend. You know, she seemed like someone who was also really like supporting their household financially. They had 2 kids, 2 young kids. And she was supporting the household financially to where he can go and get his master's degree and have this guy, you know, this job at working at the garden. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like having to have like a, you know, a high paying, high stress, corporate, you know, like a corporate job in the office. You know what I mean? Like he was able to work in the garden section at the hardware store, because that was just easier. You know what I'm saying? That allowed him to, you know, keep up on all of his work for his master's program, right? So like I said, he would always talk about his wife. I met her a few times. She was really nice. Like she would come and bring him lunch sometimes. And, you know, things seemed to be going really cool. And he would talk about his family a lot. So I feel like if him and his wife were having problems, that he would bring it up. You know, he would just seem like that kind of guy, especially the more I got to know him and the more we worked together. He would talk a lot about his family life, right, and his kids. So, you know, things are going really well. You know what I'm saying? I'm, you know, learning the ins and outs of, you know, what I'm supposed to do. I'm picking up a lot of hours. Even though I'm part-time, I am calling in for more shifts. You know, they're calling me for more shifts and stuff like that. So, like I said, for the most part, I always worked with Brooke and Jeremy, or Brooke or Jeremy, one or the other, right? So I never really worked with other people for whatever reason. So I remember, like, fast forward, I probably was there about, let's say, like 3 or 4 months. And, you know, when you work in that kind of department, like you in the garden area, you don't really see a lot of, you see customers frequently, but I'm going to say you probably see them like every 3 weeks, maybe once a month, something like that. So I started to notice it was this girl that would come in, and she would come in like once or twice a week. She was in there all the time. And we would be like, what the hell is she buying? You know what I mean? Because like sometimes she would buy stuff and sometimes she wouldn't. But it's not like she was buying a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When she would come in there, it'll be like one small plant. She might get some seeds. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, did you really come in here for that? You know what I mean? Are you looking for something else? So then she kept on coming in, like I said, you know, once or twice a week. And me and Brooke noticed her, you know what I'm saying? And we asked Jeremy about it, and he was like, you know, I mean, I don't know what's up, right? So then we started to notice that Jeremy would disappear when this woman would leave. You know what I mean? Like Jeremy would be gone all of a sudden. So we started putting 2 and 2 together, and we asked Jeremy, like, are you and this girl messing around? Do you know her or whatever? Then he finally breaks down and he tells us that, you know, it's somebody that he met in the store one day, and, you know, he ran into her, I guess while he was going to the bathroom. He ran into her and asked her, she asked him a question about something in the hardware store. He had no idea where it was, but he, you know, tried to help her find it. And then they just started talking. And I'm like, okay, but like, how did it lead to all of this, like, y'all hanging out and interest? You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, well, you know, she's everything that my wife is. And he was just talking about how his wife let herself go and how he wasn't attracted to her anymore, and how their marriage was on the rocks. And we were like, really? Like, it doesn't, you don't, you know, you've never said anything about that. Like, you seem like you were happy. He was like, I mean, I should be talking about my wife. Like, that seems like the right thing to do, but I haven't been happy in months. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to tell my wife that she needs to lose weight or that she should change her hair. He was just like, I'm not attracted to her anymore. And so we were like, damn, like, I wasn't expecting him to say that. So basically, him and this girl met at the hardware store. They both liked each other and were attracted to each other immediately, and basically started messing around pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you gonna have a girl come to the job every day? Not every day, but a couple times a week. Like, that seems kind of excessive, you know, for her to be in your workplace, especially when your wife can pop up at any point, you know? So there came a point when Brooke really tried to pull Jeremy aside and talk to him, you know what I'm saying? Like, to tell him how important it was to have a conversation. I mean, it may not be what his wife wants to hear, but she needs to know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? If your attraction has changed towards her versus you just going out and cheating on her. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, him and the girl hadn't slept together. They were just spending time together. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he started making up lies about study groups and, you know, stuff going on that we had to do at the job and stuff like that, right? And, you know, like I said, Brooke was just trying to tell him, like, you need to have a conversation versus just doing this with this woman. You know what I'm saying? Because you're involving her in something that does she even know you're married, number one? And then number two, like, your wife just deserves more. You know what I mean? And you're going to lose everything. Like, if your marriage doesn't work out, this is going to affect your entire household. You know what I mean? Like if y'all end up getting divorced, you're not gonna see your kids every day. Like you got to think about the big picture. Like you thinking about this moment with this woman. And let me also say this too. I feel like Jeremy thought this woman was out of his league. It was somebody that he would never be able to pull. So I feel like that was drawing him even more to her. You know what I'm saying? The fact that she was somebody that normally wouldn't give him the time of day. That's because he made that very clear that he couldn't believe that she was interested in him, right? So, you know, he listened to what Brooke had to say, and I'm kind of like observing or whatever. And like I'm saying things, but like I'm young at this point, you know what I mean? And I'm listening and I'm agreeing with everything that Brooke is saying. And it's like he's listening, but like he just keeps on doing the same thing. Like the girl continues to come into the job once or twice a week. And, you know, he disappears and goes off and does whatever with her at that point. I don't know if they were going into I don't know. Like Jeremy just made it sound like that he would just walk her, you know, to her car whenever she would come into, come into the garden area. He would walk her to the car and, you know, they might mess around a little bit, but he probably was doing way more than that, honestly. But so at this point, I've been working for about 6 months, right? So Jeremy has had this woman on the side for about a month and a half, 2 months. Nothing has changed. He hasn't talked to his wife at this point. He's just, you know, doing his thing with this woman. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, they probably have had sex. He hasn't said anything about it, but I feel like they probably did because they were spending a lot of time together. So this is the holiday season, and it's like well into the holiday season. I'm gonna say it's late November, early December. So, you know, our department is popping. It's a lot of people in there. It's a lot of traffic because people are coming to get Christmas trees. They're getting poinsettias. Like they're just coming to get all kind of stuff out of our department, right? So this is around the time where this is the first time that I'm actually starting to work a lot with the other 3 associates or other 2 or 3 associates. And of course, Brooke and Jeremy are working a lot too, right? So one particular day, I'm on the cash register and I'm pretty much cashiering all day because it's like I said, it's a line all day. As soon as our department opened, it was a ton of people. So I'm cashiering and I was about to ring somebody up, but then I hear like a pot or something crash to the ground. Then I start hearing this man yelling for help, right? So I excused myself from the customer because I was getting ready to ring him up. I rush off and this other associate, we go around the corner. We see these 3 men stomping somebody out, but we can't really see who getting their ass whooped, right? So we go and call security or whatever. Security, comes in, clears everything out. We see Jeremy getting up at the bottom of this pile, right? Because like I said, we couldn't see who was getting beat up. So we see Jeremy standing to his feet or whatever. And of course, we are rushing over trying to make sure he's okay or whatever. The police is called. The police questions him. And Jeremy just doesn't know what's going on. He has no idea like why these men tried to attack him. He was like, I don't know them. I've never seen them before. He was just like, they've never been inside of the garden area before. I've never helped them. I don't know what happened. He was just like, I turned around and they ran up on me or whatever. So we like, damn, right? So Jeremy goes home that night. He had a black eye. Of course, he was all scraped up and stuff. And, he left work. Like, it's not like he finished working. He left work shortly after that, right? So he goes home, tells his wife that he got into an accident at work, right? Y'all, his wife tells him that she had them men come up there and basically whoop his ass because she found out that he was cheating. She said that she came up to the job one day and, she came to bring him lunch. Like I said, I don't know why Jeremy had this woman coming to the job like that. His wife saw him one day walking with this woman in her car, saw them in the car kissing. And, she said she's followed him a couple times and she wanted to see if Jeremy was ever going to come clean about everything. And she told her cousins and her uncles about it. They wanted to whoop his ass, but they didn't want to get involved. And they had some of their friends go up there and fight him pretty much, right? And I'm just like, what? So, of course, me and Brooke are talking, the other associates are talking. Like I said, it's not a lot of us that work in this department. This just got messy real fast. Like, there's nothing like your family stuff. You know what I'm saying? What's going on at your house spilling over into your work life and people knowing about it. You know what I mean? And, eventually, like, his wife heard him out. She said she wanted to work on things. She led him to believe that she wanted to work on things. They signed up for therapy. And then one day, Jeremy went home. She moved out. Took everything, okay? Moved out. I mean, of course, she left some stuff behind, but clothes, the kids, all that stuff, gone. Pictures, she took a lot of stuff. Like, she just left. She never told him she was leaving. She packed her shit and she left because she felt like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't, this is just my assumption. I feel like that she agreed to go to therapy to buy herself some time to figure out what she really wanted to do. And I also don't really know what happened in their therapy sessions. You know what I'm saying? So you know, maybe she felt like Jeremy was being full of shit based on, you know, what he was saying or doing or whatever, his explanations on why he was cheating and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And all kind of stuff comes up usually when you're in therapy. But Jeremy went home. All this stuff was gone. They ended up getting a divorce. And it was just a mess. You know what I'm saying? And then let me tell you the kicker to all of this. One day, Jeremy did not come to work. He was a no-call, no-show, right? Happened one day, happened the second day. And that was it, y'all. It's like Jeremy vanished into thin air. He never quit. He never came and turned in his work keys, nothing. Jeremy left. So I have no idea what happened to Jeremy after that. Like, I mean, obviously Brooke, you know, tried to go to the house. She tried to get in touch with him. He had changed his number, everything. And that was it. I wonder what happened to Jeremy. I do. And I thought about him for so many years. Like I would say, I thought about him all the time for about 4 or 5 years, you know, after I had worked with him. But I wonder what happened. Like, I wonder if him and his wife were ever able to be cool so they could co-parent. I wonder if he ever got married again. He had a degree in business administration. Like, I wonder if he's still in California. Like, I just wonder all these different things about him. I do. And like I said, it took me and Laura to have a certain conversation. I forget what we were even talking about that made me think about Jeremy. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I never told y'all this story or ever talked about it. But y'all, it was so crazy. You know what I mean? And also what I thought about was so that particular day, those guys came and fought Jeremy, right? Just ran up on him and whooped on him, right? But it made me think about if his wife had been sending people in there to like see what was going on. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, nothing is suspicious because people are customers. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing looks suspicious until somebody does something, right? But I don't know. Just so many questions, a wild situation. And I just wish Jeremy would have just talked to his wife in the beginning when his feelings started changing. I think that's so important in any relationship. You know, I think it's important for us to be able to have these hard conversations. And I get this sometimes. We're afraid to have hard conversations because we don't want to hurt somebody, or because the person is not going to be receptive and let you get out what you want to say, you know, without shutting down or whatever the case may be. But, you know, I think hard conversations are really, that's just going to come with every single relationship. It is. And the more you run away from those hard conversations, you know, I think that's what ends up, you know, turning the relationship to a point of no return potentially, because you're not talking about things and you're just running out doing whatever in place of it. You know what I'm saying? To make you feel better about what's going on in your relationship. Because when you don't have the conversations, you're leaving your significant other in the dark. They don't know. They don't have a chance to fix it. They're not aware. And that's really not fair. You know what I mean? So anyways, I just wish Jeremy would have talked to his wife. And maybe they probably could have worked things out. But anyways, that's the story time, y'all. So I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and meet me in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Make the best of the day, y'all. Be good to yourself. Peace.
I be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.